How you doing? I'm Scott White. I work with business as a consultant. I'm with Andrea Tyndall. I was in the fitness industry for years, and we're going to discuss and kind of Andrea's going to fill us in on her history, as well as we kind of have some history together, considering I intern with her at Arizona State University. So I'll give it to Andrea, and she can fill you in on the rest.
Awesome. And here's what's full circle about it is that, you know, you came to ASU to learn, and then I'm now coming to you to learn. So I think, you know, that's why bridges are so important to maintain. But to speak to, you know, kind of the brief story, so I guess that gives everybody some context. I was a athlete at college, didn't know what I wanted to do, but I knew the body was amazing. Started doing the athletic training thing and realized that that wasn't really what I was into. Was blessed at being at Oregon, started my internship with Jimmy Radcliffe up there, and got into strength and conditioning in the collegiate sector. So I've been at, again, very lucky, Oregon, Arizona State, where I met Scott, South Carolina, Iowa, Wisconsin. I've been at a few high schools. I was at the Australian Institute of Sport working with their tennis program down there for a year. I've been in the private sector. I managed a gym. I've been a mobile coach. I also do a little bit of doing some work at a community college. So I've kind of done a lot of different stuff.
There's nothing that you haven't done when it comes to this stuff.
Sadly, which means, you know, you have to adjust and learn, which is what I like about this industry, is you are constantly learning and finding out new things about yourself, kind of evolving not only with the industry itself, but, you know, even as a person. I never would have thought that I could be doing what I'm doing now. 15 years ago, I would have thought you were nuts. So here I am.
Kind of fill us in on what you're doing now. Obviously, we're in a pandemic where fitness can be challenging with gyms locked down and trainers not being able to go to gyms, or strength coaches, and a whole mess there. So fill us in how you've adapted to make your business successful or more successful during this time period.
Yeah, I've actually been blessed enough that I'm actually doing better now than I was before this craziness started. Part of it, I have excellent clients. They're very motivated, very dedicated, whether they're my 15, 16, 17-year-olds or my 73-year-olds. I have been able to maintain working with them via Zoom, which has its, you know, pluses and minuses. I've had a few folks that I've been working with either, you know, in a local park. I have a glorious gym garage, as I like to call it, so a garage in my gym. And then I've got another client who's got access to a tennis court, so I go to his place and we do our stuff there. So I've adapted. I actually go to somebody else's house. I've got 4 kids in their backyard. It's excellent. So partially, I've got great clients that have made the jump with me, and I let them know that I appreciate them every day for saving my hind right now. But I hustled. You know, you got to figure out what works. You can look at this as like, oh crap, or it's an opportunity to maybe explore something else. Got some online training clients as well. So again, lots of learning. You know, I've now learned also, which is a huge learn for me, to ask for help, both from Scott. I've hired a marketing person. I'm hopefully going to be hiring a VA certainly soon. And I've also got another project that's still under wraps, but I've got a girl out in Ireland helping me with. That'll be an online education course too.
And let's talk a little bit of this, because like, what would you say your aptitude for technology is?
I know how to, it's like a car. I know how to drive it, and I know how to put gas in it, and I know how to make a payment.
Yeah, like the power button works for me when I turn it on.
Right.
That's good to go.
Yeah, if it has a glitch, I will put a little bit of effort into figuring out why, if it's something I can do myself. But then at a certain point, you know, I call in the big guns, because I don't, you know, I'm a really great coach, but there are certain things that I know I don't do well. And that's, you know, again, I definitely learn. Also, I've found that sometimes I'm an Android PC person, but sometimes when I've got folks that are Apple, some of the things don't quite work well together when we Zoom. Or if I tell them, oh, go to the bottom, no, it's on the top on theirs.
But it just shows you, like, even somebody who's not necessarily so tech savvy can still grow their business during a time period where
Yeah.
people are like, it's impossible, it's challenging, there's struggles. It's like you have learned to adapt and figure out ways to be successful or even more successful during a time period that a lot of people are just not sitting at home doing nothing.
Yeah. Which would be bad for everybody because I would just go stir crazy.
Yeah, that's very true. So question on that real quick is, so you've been in the industry for,
Long
let's
time.
let's just say for a longer period of time than most people. Um, and how do you keep your passion for something for so long, considering, like, is it because you've done so many different things? Is
It's the little things, to be honest with you. I mean, because it's like any job, it's a job and it's a grind and it's hard and it's all of those things. But for me, it has always been watching the people I work with improve, whether
uh
it's doing something they could never do before or telling me that their golf game, they're playing these leagues that they're using my strokes. I'm not the B player anymore. I hit the farthest drive I've ever hit in my life. All of those things are like, yes. You're doing things you could have never done. I have an older gentleman. He's lost a lot of weight. He can do things with his very broken 73-year-old body that if you would have told me 3 years ago that he's like, I would have thought you were lying watching him now. And so that's, I think, for me, what keeps me in the game is, watching them get confident. And, the younger ones go off to college and get scholarships and those kinds of things. The 73-year-olds still doing their thing. So, yeah, it's quality
that's
life and
that's
performance.
awesome. Where do you feel you are in your business right now that's going to help take you to the next level?
I would think a lot of, and Scott can attest because he's been here with me through a lot of this. It's the mindset of changing what you think you're capable of. I've always been in the academic setting where, you know what your paycheck is going to be, you have your benefits, you know what you're doing, all semester long, which is not how things roll on the private sector. And I liked that stability. And that was always my home. And I'm like, I'm doing this other stuff on the side because it's fun and it's extra money and I like doing it. Because I didn't think I could make this my full-time gig. Because there's this entrepreneurial thing that I have discovered. And it's exciting. It's hard. I've definitely had some other business coaches over the years that have probably got frustrated with me because I wasn't ready yet. And now I'm in that spot of like, okay, I'm ready, but I just don't know what the hell I'm doing. So I'm coming to Scott. I'm doing podcasts. I'm learning. I have another friend of mine who's in the same stage with her business. And so we, brainstorm and bang ideas off of each other all the time. So, you got to be ready for it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So curious, obviously, from a marketing side, what have you been doing that's been pulling in more prospects? Is it social media? Obviously, there's referrals are always a big one. When you do a good job, people talk, and it's always a great one.
Yep.
Are you tracking? Are you doing anything from a social media standpoint?
I am fairly terrible at social media. I do make an effort to make at least a few posts a week. My main goal with that is celebrating the people that I work with and going, oh my God, look at how awesome they're doing. So especially I know people like to be celebrated, right? So I'll do that. And if I try to have an event or something going on, I'll make a post. It's something I wish I was better at. I did have some help with that. So I know now about hashtagging. Again, we go back to that lack of tech savvy thing.
Oh, curious. Are you doing local hashtags, geo-based hashtags?
A little bit, yeah.
Cool.
Yep. So it depends on, and I hashtag depending on who I'm targeting. So, when I was at Miramar and I was working with my fire guys, I would definitely hashtag the poop out of, Miramar fire and San Diego fire and, local tactical stuff.
Not housewives?
No. I mean, not that they wouldn't have enjoyed looking at my crew, but, it's so, and what I noticed, because someone showed me how to use the analytics on it, what my demographics were, what my male to female split was, what my age range was, so that I could definitely track that.
Okay. Data girl. I like it.
I'm getting there. I'm getting there. I can be trained just like anybody else.
Well, so something that you've always been great at, obviously you're super charismatic, and what I always talk about is business 101. At the end of the day, it's about relationships.
Yes.
Growing business, obviously the internet allows you to build relationships on a larger scale faster with social media and so forth.
Mhm.
But when you're in a one-on-one or a semi-private setting with clients and so forth, if you have a charismatic personality
Yes.
and people like you and you're very good at building relationships and obviously showing them their stages of improvement and just, cheering them on, at the end of the day, I'm always like, you got to be a great cheerleader and a great babysitter. Because if you can't hold people accountable, they're not going to show up and they're going to quit. And if you can't cheer them on and inspire them, they're going to lose interest. So
Yeah.
obviously it takes those two components, and that's where you see like a lot of these, and people get really mad at these so-called like celebrity influencers or that are in the fitness industry that might not have the credentials. Well, they definitely don't have the credentials you have.
Right.
But they do something, they inspire people, and there's something to be said about if you can inspire people in a fitness setting, then you can move mountains to get them to do stuff. Granted, they might be doing things wrong, but let's face it, in this thing, if you do things wrong, you'll still get stronger, faster, smaller, tinier, fitter, and so forth.
Right.
You might have problems later on in life, but
Yeah.
and that's why I'm a big proponent about education and why somebody should work with Andrea versus somebody who's just a celebrity influencer or looks the part and so to speak.
Yeah, I used to teach some exercise leadership classes at the community college for our personal training program. And that was probably my biggest sell as well. I'm like, you've got to have a personality where you can connect with people, find out what they like. I am probably, this is one of the things that my people tell me, is that I could have worked with you 3 or 4 years ago, but I still send emails out. I still reach out and send you a text. Like if I hear you're at a certain college and there's something going on, I'm like, oh my gosh, what's happening? So I build relationships so that I legitimately miss my people when they go off to college or they get transferred to another state. And I think that speaks volumes, because I have gotten a lot of clients coming back to me because they, there's different seasons in life and all those kinds of things, and stuff happens and they're like, I've got time, I'm going to call Andrea. So yeah, and that's again, it goes back to being part of this, not only this physical journey for people, but this personality. It's what I love working about with younger folks, is that you get to be part of them becoming a human, and that's really fun.
Yeah, you definitely have far more influence on them, right?
Yeah.
Like you change the career path they're going on, and obviously their lifestyle and so many things, and like what they do as a parent or soon to be parent. And I mean, it definitely has a lot of impact, and it's very rewarding being a trainer, strength coach, or anything along that aspect, because you can inspire so many people and influence them in so many different in such positive ways, right?
Yeah,
Like
for sure.
I'm like, if people hired more trainers, you probably have less life coaches or psychiatrists or even consultants.
Yeah, true. And I have a lot of people that's why they made the jump with me. They're like, I can't not have this physical activity because this is how I'm staying sane. And when you can do it in the comfort of your own home. Buying equipment has been challenging, as everybody knows out there that's trying to buy anything for the last 9 months. But
have you gotten creative and made anything out of cement or rocks, or you
oh my
doing
God.
EYI projects out of gym equipment?
Yes, a lot of those. And you probably saw some of my old stuff back in the day. But yeah, I'm a firm believer. And if you can kind of conjure it up and figure it out, make it work.
Well, weight's weight, right? Like at the end of the day, as long as it burns calories and gets results, it doesn't matter what it looks like or how pretty it is.
Yeah, exactly, for sure.
Well, obviously, people don't know where you are located.
Okay.
They probably know your business name, your website, all that stuff. If you have anything else to share or ask, by all means, fire away.
Oh, okay, awesome. So yes, I am based in San Diego. Technically what I would consider central, because I'm not North County and I'm not downtown, for those of us that know the area. So I am a quasi-mobile coach, which means I can go to a little bit of space as long as it's not too far. My web address is, I'm looking at over here because I've got another computer screen. Athletic Evolution SPT, as in sports performance training.com. So again, that's Athletic Evolution SPT.com.
And I will add it in the description.
Awesome. You can follow me on Facebook and Instagram at Coach Andrea Tyndall, and that's TYNDALL. Again, I'm sure he'll do some magic with linking stuff. And then if you go to my website, you can sign up for my newsletter, and I send out something once a month, and it's, not very big, just kind of maybe some tips and tricks and some motivation, and again, celebrating my clients, and yeah, good stuff. Other than that, I think a parting thing is, as Simon Sinek says, know your why. But yeah, that I've already known what my why is. It's about teaching, educating, and empowering people to, improve, to be the best that they can be, and enjoy their experience while doing it. We all have those people that are drill sergeants to just scream and yell, and granted, some people like that. And I do that when I need to, like when I'm working with 4 teenage boys this morning. But on the most part, I try to get my people to enjoy the experience. So they're not only getting better, but we're having fun. That might be throwing in some silly jokes, or occasionally bringing them some cake pops, because my people love my cake pops.
You made cake pops?
I do.
Oh, wow. That's a perk just to train with you in itself.
Yeah, it's a very special occasion because they are a lot of work. But I definitely, yeah. And I'll make 2 order ones because I've got a girl that loves peanut butter. And I made some peanut butter variations that were amazing. So yeah. It's, again, that goes back to building that relationship and connecting with your people.
Exactly. That's great. That's awesome. I don't think I've ever made cake pops when I was in this industry for anyone, or baked for that matter. There was a time period where I got into like really super clean, and I tried to make the healthiest donuts possible. So I fried like, what was it, like almond flour in coconut oil,
okay.
Right? It gets really costly because coconut oil is not cheap for the amount.
Right.
I was like, I think I just spent like $40 on one donut.
Yeah. I just try to eat my naughtiness in moderation, because I do love a good sweet. But I just try to moderate.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Like realize like you can't do it all the time unless you maintain that figure.
Right. Again, your body is your billboard is one of the things I also like to tell my interns. But part of that is just living it, and I also appreciate for people that it's hard to get motivated sometimes, work out at the end of the day. So if you can kind of muster up that strength to do those little things all the time, whether it's not eating that donut, which is kryptonite, it's all good. It's all good.
Baby steps. Well, Andrea, thank you. It was awesome to have you and hear you share your story and all that great stuff, and see all your success.
Oh, thank you. And thank you for being part of my new journey. I appreciate it, and inviting me onto this. I feel very special. I've never done this before. So excellent.
All right. Very cool. Well, everybody, I will put, please like and subscribe, do whatever you guys got to do, and follow Andrea. I'll put all the links below in the description.
Awesome.
All right. Thank you.